Good evening, everyone. This is Professor Hill's a short video for our class, Introduction to Ethics, Philosophy 2306 here at St. Philip's College. Although we're not here at St. Philip's College, today we're at my home. It's Friday, the 9th of June, 2023. We're in the first week of our first summer session course. It's a condensed 5-week class. And we're getting to the end of the first week where we've been reading chapter 1 in our book, Doing Ethics by Lewis Vaughn, and trying to take some of those key concepts and apply them in an essay about our case study, which is due Sunday night. So it turns out this weekend, Sunday night, is the first essay that's due. We're going to enter it into the reply box on the discussion. Some people are asking me, where, once I get it done, where does it go? So, you should click through right to the discussion number 1, and you'll see a reply box. Once you put your essay in there, that's the first thing you always do. Then you hit enter, you'll be able to see the other essays and comment on at least 2 of them, and that will complete the assignment. That's why we did this, kind of the dry run, the practice on Wednesday with the welcome and introductions. So people put in their introduction, but then also commented on at least 2. And that was by design to get us in practice as a dry run for Sunday night. So Sunday, midnight, get your essay in. Take a look at the case study. As I said yesterday, oh, by the way, I did go to San Marcos. I did go to the Texas State University Meadows Center for water and environmental conservation. It's pretty cool. It was fun. We took a whole bunch of 12, 13, 14-year-olds, 2 buses full of them. And it was an adventure. But no, seriously, it was a lot of fun. And I remember yesterday, I made that video in the morning. I'm like, I'll make another video after I get back. I was like totally wiped out. They just took it out of me. Anyway, okay, that's what I was doing yesterday. When you were working hard on your reading and your writing and getting ready for Sunday night's essay. I mentioned, though, briefly that a couple things. Make sure you focus on whose decision is in, because I mentioned that she's 17. That's a big factor. And I also mentioned that I had done a couple of other videos where I compared the story of Jenny Lake, who's a 17-year-old with cancer who refuses treatment, with another case, which was the Cassandra Callender case. And it involves another 17-year-old who has cancer and refuses treatment. So there's some similarities, obviously, but there's some big differences as well. In that case, the case of Cassandra, what happened was she found out she had cancer, but refused treatment because she had read on the internet someplace that the chemotherapy, the recommended treatment by the doctors at the hospital, wasn't safe, was going to hurt her, kill her, actually. So she was like, oh, no, I'm going to go get some alternative medicine. She had been looking into all kinds of non-science-based approaches. And a lot of this was just, snake oil salesmen selling sugar pills out of their trunk and taking advantage of her. The problem in this case, though, was that the doctors go, well, actually, no, you need chemotherapy. Yes, there are risks. Yes, there are drawbacks. You're going to lose your hair. You're going to get sick. I mean, it's not an easy thing to go through. But they were saying to her, in your case, with your type of cancer, the Hodgkin's lymphoma, your odds of getting better with the treatment are very good. They can't guarantee anything, but they can do averages. And they were saying, look, people who are similarly situated with your type of cancer, if they go through the treatment 5 years later, on average, hey, look, like 85% of them are in remission and they're doing okay. It's not a guarantee, but it's the best available medicine. Well, she says no. Well, the doctors go, okay, well, Cassandra, that's great, but we're going to turn to your mom because you know what? You're 17. You're a minor. It's not really your call. We're going to get your mom to make this decision. So, Mom, we need you to approve this and we'll get to work. And the mom says, Heck no. Who do you think showed her all those websites? You guys are the problem, not the solution. And so the mom and the daughter together who are in agreement that she shouldn't take the chemotherapy. So they disappear. The doctors try to follow up. They miss the mom and the girl don't come to any more appointments. And so in this case, the doctors go, well, look, you know what? If Cassandra's mom was making the decision for herself, she's an adult. She can make decisions even if the doc is going against the medical advice. But you can't do that for your 17-year-old child. What you're doing now is endangering the life of a child. This is a minor whose parents, the mom in this case, are making decisions which are imperiling her very life. She's got cancer. She needs the treatment. And so what they do is they say, look, that's not the end of the story. We're going to go down to the courts. We're going to get a court order to go in and take this minor child away from the mom and then give her the chemotherapy she needs. So they go to court and they lay it all out. And the judge says, yeah, gives them a court order. So now with the court order in hand, the doctors and the cops and the equivalent of Child Protective Services, it was happening in Connecticut. They have a Department of Families and Children. So DCF and the police and the doctors all show up at the house and take her into protective custody, take her to the hospital, and against her will, force the chemotherapy on her. Now, a lot of people go, hold on a minute. That doesn't sound right. And again, if she was an adult, they would be respecting her decisions. But because she's a minor child and the mother is making decisions which are going against her best interest, in fact, threatening her life, they were able to get this court order. So they do the chemotherapy. By the way, as soon as they get to the end of the chemotherapy, they turn her back over to the mom. They say, look, we had taken her away from you, but only in order to do the treatment. So now that the treatment's been delivered, here she is. And sure enough, guess what? Hey, she goes into remission. The mom and Cassandra do not send thank you cards to the doctors at the hospital because they're angry and upset about this. They fight it every stick of the way. So what happens is, in her case, again, these stories always end tragically. I'm sorry. But she's out. She turns 18. She ends up moving in with a boyfriend. She does become pregnant, like Jenny Lake, in terms of similarities. She actually has twins, 2 boys. But the cancer has come back. So now she had been in remission. The cancer comes back. But this time, because she's an adult, she's like, you guys can't force me to do it. She does some, again, alternative methods. You can't even call them therapies. I mean, it was like, no kidding. It was like, crystals and new age stuff. She even goes to Mexico to some alternative experimental place. And of course, none of this is helping her. She gets sicker and sicker. She's back in Connecticut. Finally, she says, oh my God, I need to just break down and go to see the doctor. So she goes back to the hospitals and the doctors are like, well, look, yes, of course, we will help you. We will treat you, but you've waited so long now. It's too late. We'll do the best we can, but you're too far along. And sure enough, she dies, leaving behind the 2 little kids, I might add. Now, what's interesting is that's a whole sad another case study to unpack because there's lots going on there, not least of which is, boy, the mother blames everybody, the doctors, the cops, the judge, the DCF, everybody, not looking in the mirror. But she just pins all the blame on them, says, look, her point of view on this is these people did not save the life of my daughter. And I'm like, well, yeah. Anyway, it turns out that it's an interesting comparison, though, and a contrast to the Jenny Lake case, because you have to ask yourself, well, when Jenny made the decision to stop chemotherapy and her mom agreed, and it was really the mom's decision, why didn't the doctors intervene? Why didn't they say, oh, no, I'm sorry. You have to do the chemotherapy. And we're really sorry it's going to have this terrible side effect. You're going to lose the baby. But our obligation is to you. And you know what? You're a minor child. We'll go get a court order, just like they did in the Cassandra Callender case. But the doctors didn't do that. They went, okay. And then they watched their patient die. Man, I got to tell you, that is a tough call. I'm not sure that was the right decision for the doctors to make. I think the doctors might have had an obligation to intervene. That's a tough call. And again, for a lot of people, the deciding factor is that Jenny Lake is pregnant. You got to remember, Cassandra wasn't. And I think for many people, that's kind of the thing that tipped it over the edge, and why they agree with Jenny's decision and they're glad the doctors didn't intervene. I don't know. It's a tough call. But like I said, there's lots to unpack in this particular case, and the comparison with the Cassandra Callender adds even another difficult ethical wrinkle and twist to this story. So think about all that, and let me know let me know if you were thinking, I agree with Jenny. She made a great call. It's a great sacrifice on her part. And then you hear the Cassandra Callender case and you're rethinking it. Let me know that. Write about it. Because here's the thing. And I'm going to end with this. Lots of people, when they think Jenny did the right thing, they're like, that's what parents do. Parents will sacrifice for their children. This is the whole mama bear, I'll protect the cub at all costs. Even if it means I have to sacrifice, even if I have to sacrifice my life, I'm protecting my child. I'll do anything to make that happen. And they look at Jenny and they say, look, she gave up her life and sacrificed herself for her child. That's a beautiful thing. It's a noble, heroic sacrifice. But then I say, well, if that's the principle you're going to apply, like some non-consequentialist theory, there's a rule or a principle involved, like the mama bear rule. I said, well, that's great. But when you apply that to this case, it doesn't apply to Jenny. It applies to the decision maker. The decision maker is her mom. And if that's the case, and you're saying the mom should do anything at all to protect her child is Jenny. And even if Jenny was complaining and saying, no, mom, let me do it, she should have said, no, it's my job to protect you. I'm the mama bear. I will sacrifice. I'll take the grief, even from you, to protect you and save your life. And she didn't do that. So if you apply that principle to Jenny, you get one outcome. If you apply it to her mom, you get a different outcome. And it was really her mom's call. See, I told y'all this was complicated. And look, again, I laugh about it, but it's also, you always have got to step back and remember this. These were people who were trying to make extraordinarily difficult decisions, life and death decisions, under just impossible circumstances. Like I said, there's no good outcome. It's always going to have a tragic, sad ending, no matter what Jenny did. And so I really do feel for her mom, who, by the way, is raising the little baby. I got much more sympathy for her than I do, obviously, for the Cassandra Callender's mother, who I think did not have her daughter's best interest at heart, made bad decisions, and then turned around and blamed the doctors. I just cannot. I find that hard to fathom, but that was what happened. All right, lots to think about. Right, think. And let me know if I could be of any help. I'll talk to y'all soon, but like I said, unpack that. There's a whole lot there to think about. Bye.